Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing another tutorial on OP art. OP art is art that plays tricks on your eyes, or optical illusion art. So OP is kind of short for optical illusion. If y'all saw, I do have another video that is also about OP art. The other video is about how to create abstract OP art. This video is going to continue on the same idea, but this time we're going to apply that same idea to the face of an animal, or it could be an animal of your choice. But I'm going to go through how to apply that OP abstract optical illusion to a fox face. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started on my drawing. So I'm going to start with the eyes. I'm going to make this a relatively simple drawing. It might be a little bit complex to y'all, but we'll see. I'm starting from the middle of the paper, but it's really zoomed in right now, so it looks like I'm a little bit closer than I am. So here, there you go. Now you can see my whole paper. So I'm right about in the middle. I'm going to start by doing an eye. Now this eye isn't going to be just a circle. I'm going to make a hill that's going to be a little shorter on this side than it is on this side. I'm going to make a little bitty ball right there, and then I'm going to make it round on the bottom and make a point. So essentially I just made kind of an almond shape that's got a little bitty like ball shape right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and make a circle on the inside and another circle, and then I'm going to make one more circle just like that. And I'm going to shade this part in, leave that white, and leave that white. So now I have one eyeball. Actually, I need to shade this black too. There we go. Now I have one eye. So my next step is going to be to move to the other side. And I'm going to make another one that's the exact same but mirrored. So I'm going to try and make sure I keep it kind of level here. May not be perfect, but that's fine with me. I'm going to go up. Oh, yep, definitely not level. That's all right. I'm going to go back. I'm going to make a point, and then I'm going to curve, make that little ball there. So they're pretty similar. They're a little off, but that's not a big deal for me. And then I'm going to make a circle. Then I'm going to make another circle. And then I'm going to make, let's let that focus really quick. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. I'm going to make another circle right here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shade this part in, shade this part, and shade this part. Also remember, if I'm ever going too fast in these videos, you can always pause it and stop so that you can catch up with me. I know I may be going a little bit too fast, so definitely take advantage of the pause button if you need the time. So now I have two eyes of my animal, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a nose. I want to make this nose so that it's going to come down. So like each of these fingers is about as wide as my finger is. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, let's say 3, and I'm going to make my nose right about there. So I have about 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to make my nose. So straight line that goes in between them, and then I'm going to make a curly, and I'm going to make a curly right here too, and then I'm going to go ahead right here and do that. So it kind of looks almost like a mushroom or like a T, just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a smile. It's not really a smile. It just looks sort of like a smile, but it's really just the way his jaw looks. There we go. And then that's going to be kind of his mouth jaw area. So now what I want to do is I'm going to make a line here and a line here. So now we have most of our fox face. And then I need to make his chin. And his chin is just going to go right beneath this sort of sideways 3 shape. Right there. So that'll work for me. Now the next thing that I want to do is I'm going to come right out from either side of the eyes, and I'm kind of going to create the cheeks this way. So from the eye, I'm going to go out like this, and I'm going to make a little point, another little point, and then I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to kind of just come in like that. Then on the other side, I'm going to do the same thing. So go out, go back in, and then I'm going to go down like this. And then that's what I'm going to do kind of for the face shape. I'm actually going to come in right here and right here to kind of add a little bit to that. So now we're going to do this. And we're gonna do this. This isn't super perfect, but this is just an idea so that y'all can apply that abstract OP art to an animal face. So I know this is not perfect by any means, but it's just a good idea for y'all to go by. So now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna just bring that line down a little bit more. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just close off his chin right there. And then I'm gonna make a zigzag right here. It looks like a lightning bolt. And then I'm gonna make another zigzag right here, which also looks like a lightning bolt. Then I'm gonna go ahead from the top of here and the top of here to go up. I'm gonna stop when I'm kind of right in line with the edge of this eye. I made a little line there, that's okay. So now that I'm right about in line with that, I'm gonna start my ear. And then I'm gonna do a little line between. Now I'm gonna go up from this side. I'm gonna do kind of the same thing. Sort of like that. And I'm gonna go ahead from the top of this point here. I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna make an L shape that connects with this side of the head. And then I'm gonna go from over here from the top, make this line, make another L shape just like that. So you should have kind of a fox face here. I know this isn't perfect. Again, this is an exercise to teach us how to create that OP art within something like this. So now what I'm gonna do, if y'all saw the previous video, y'all saw how to create the squiggly line and then how to add the other lines on it to make the lines look like they were moving. So now that I have this fox dude hanging out here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a squiggly line right down his forehead, just like this. Okay, so that's where we start. Now that I have that squiggly line, I'm gonna make a couple of dots on that squiggly line. So I'm gonna go ahead and make, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go with 4. Now, if you did not see the previous video, hopefully you're just going along with these steps. I will explain everything. But if you did go along with the last video, you understand that you're gonna start making a whole bunch of bumps. So if you didn't see that video, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create these bumps that are gonna go from those dot to dot to dot. So it's almost like you're connecting the dots, but just with hills, just like that. Okay, so that looks kind of weird right now, but we're gonna do it again. And I'm gonna make all of these connect to those dots as much as I can. And always, whenever I make these bumps, I'm gonna have them come back to those dots. Always come back. And I'm gonna fill in this whole area of the fox's face with these. Then I believe what I'm gonna go ahead and do is when I get over here where it's a different color of the fox, I'm gonna make my squiggly line go the opposite direction. But for right now, I'm gonna start filling in this fox with this pattern so that you can see them and see how they're supposed to be completed. And you can see I'm just always making these little C shapes and going back to where the line started, which would be this dot. I'm not necessarily taking this line and going all the way to the dot, but I'm making it look like it would go back to that dot. It kind of looks like this fox has scales now. Uh-oh. Well, I ran out of space on that one, but that's okay. Kind of adds to the interest of this drawing. And it looks like I may run out of space on this one too. Super cool, right? But we're not done. We do not have the other side. So now I'm gonna start from the other side and I'm gonna make these C's go the opposite direction. So I guess on this side, they were not quite C's, they were the opposite. On this side, they actually look like the letter C. All right. And if y'all could hear my dog barking in the background, please excuse that. He is playing in another room, but his bark is quite loud. think I'm about to run out of space on that one. Yep, I just did. As you can see, I'm really not being exact with these. I kind of don't want them all to be the same size and shape because they look way more interesting if you make them all different sizes. So you can see it makes it look like they're getting bigger over here. It makes them look like they're getting smaller over here. It just looks all around pretty interesting. All right, so now that section is done. I am going to continue though. So now I started with a line like this. So on this part of this fox's face, I'm gonna go the opposite direction. I'm gonna do it just like that. And on this side, I'm just gonna continue and we're gonna see how this looks. It might look super crazy at the end. I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna make my dots. I just made a squiggly line that went across the face and now I'm gonna make my dots. And there we go. So now I'm gonna start the same thing. I'm gonna make these bumps. Oh, I didn't connect to that dot. That was bad. Oh well. I'm gonna do it again. And again. And you can see like right there, I just filled it in because that felt like what I should have done rather than trying to like add more up in here. So that side is pretty filled in. Let's maybe make one more sort of almost one right there. And then we'll make another one. Start on this side. We're gonna do it again. Yeah, maybe one more right there. That looks pretty good. And now I'm going to do it the opposite on the bottom so that we have the same sort of effect that we had on the top. So this time instead of hills, we're making little valleys. Not exactly sure how this is going to work when I get to the actual mouth of the fox. It might just kind of hang out right next to the mouth. It might make the mouth disappear. We don't know yet. This is kind of experimental art. But experimental art is the most fun. Uh-oh, I'm hitting the mouth now. I think what I'm gonna do is for mine, I'm gonna stop right there and just leave the mouth as it is. And I'm just gonna go ahead and continue right next to it like this. So if you're following along with this video, you can totally just copy this and do it this way. If you are not following along with the video, you can also do whatever you're doing your own way. This is, again, very experimental art. And now I'm starting on the other side. And I'm going to go ahead and continue. Okay, now that I'm almost to the mouth on this side, yep. Now that I'm actually to the mouth on this side, I'm going to stop so that I leave that there. And now I'm just going to continue this just like I did on this side. Okay, now we have filled in the whole face with all of these cool patterns. And on the ears, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of do those U shapes to fill up this portion of the ears. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And then I'll add my little tuft of hair that I usually add in every other video. It's just some zigzags, just like that. Okay, I also think I want to go ahead and make this nose black. You can make it black if you want, or you can ignore this. This is just my preference. So I guess we didn't really need all those details anyway. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, so now in this area of the fox, I would do another squiggly line. I think I'm gonna do it up and down this time since this one was side to side and I kind of want to change it up. I'm gonna do a dot there, and a dot there. I'm only gonna do 3 this time. And I'm gonna do the same thing. There we go. Now continue on the other side. It's a challenge to really keep your eyes in line to make sure you're not going the wrong direction because you got to switch direction at that squiggly line. All right, that'll be that side, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to make it the up and down squiggly line, and I'm going to do 3 dots. Excellent. Now I'm switching the sides so they're going a different direction again. And we'll just add an extra bit there. And I think I'm going to go ahead and leave this space white just for artistic creativity. I think the rest of him really works for this experiment. So I want to leave this space white to give it a little bit of what's called negative space. So that means there's no detail in that space. So this worked out really well. Hopefully you guys have some pretty cool animals. You can do this with any animal drawing. You do not have to do a fox. But if you followed along, I hope you have a pretty cool looking fox. I think he looks like he has scales. He might look a little creepy, but that's okay. It was a fun experiment and I hope you enjoyed it too.